This is T Chan here with a Game Download, and thank you for joining me. Welcome to episode 51, where I chat with the best people in the game industry 7 days a week. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast for a new daily episode filled with inspiring stories. And now let's chat with today's featured guest, Nicolas Britton. Nick, it is a go time. Are you ready?
I am more than ready.
Yes. So again, this episode is a bit of a pivot from the regular format. I love to get ideas from other industries because remember that ideas can come from all sorts of places. So today we are going to go talk about Nick's book called Children Know Success, Do You? And how it can be relevant to the game industry. So go ahead, tell us a bit about your book and how you think it could relate to game developers, Nick.
Yeah, certainly. I'm going to give you a quick little background about me. I have a very unique story. I have 2 college degrees, 2 bachelor's degrees, both in education. I have a master's degree in education, and I thought I had my dream job at the age of 25 years old. I was an administrator in a school district, and I woke up one day, and I just knew I was meant to do more. So I did what all 25-year-olds do in a quarter-life crisis, and I quit my job, drained out my 401k, and I moved across the country to figure out what my next step was, to figure out what my passion was. So, I feel like a lot of people have been at that point of, maybe you have a normal 9-to-5 job and you believe you should be doing more. Maybe you want to be an entrepreneur. Maybe you just have this niche inside of you that you want to do more and you know you deserve to do more. And it's not for everyone. So that is my story. So at the age of 25, I quit my job and I moved 1,400 miles away from home to pursue my passion of writing. And I've actually written 2 best-selling books now, and it's been an utter success.
Congratulations on that.
Yes. So it's very, it was my burning desire for me to kind of leave the coop, to pursue what I wanted to do. And very ironically, all of my friends and family thought I was crazy for doing that. And looking back on it, it's the best thing I've ever done in my life.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to do because you, like me, for example, I work 9 to 5, but I really want to get into the video game industry. And, right now I work as a market researcher. And of course it crossed my mind where I'd be like, man, I just want to quit and just focus on my career, take that risk. And that's why I'm doing this podcast on the side, but I would love to do this full time if possible.
And I was listening to a couple of your past videos and you talk a lot about reading. And I believe you mentioned Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Workweek. And that book really, changed my life. It made me realize the power of time and how we value our time and how to utilize our time. So I guess that's my biggest purpose right now is to remind everyone. And where I came up with these examples of how to achieve success for you is actually by observing children. So it's a very unique perspective to this world.
And also, this would be a great way to learn because our audience are game developers. A lot of kids play games as well. So maybe we get some insight on that as well.
Yes, exactly.
So go ahead, tell us a bit about your book. Well, what's the purpose of it? Or what can it help us do?
Perfect. The purpose of the book is I was watching, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you, sir?
28.
28. Me too. Exact same age. So 28 years old. I saw all my friends in college, all my high school friends, that they were giving up on their passions and giving up on what they really wanted to do with their lives. It was making me sick, and I'm sure you know a half a dozen people who feel that way. And I reflected upon a lot while being a teacher and how children naturally do not give up as easily as it is as an adult. For example, when a child wants to learn how to walk, they do whatever is possible for them to walk. When they want to talk, they talk. They do what they want to do when they want to do it. And I figured if we can take that philosophy as adults and truly have faith in our own passion and our beliefs and do whatever we want to do when we want to do it, we're going to start to know a new type of happiness and success.
Now, what is something so in order to discover our inner child, to get that perspective, what is something we probably don't know about discover our inner child that we should know?
The biggest thing to me is that we've all had these tools, right? These tools to unlock our freedoms, our happiness. There was a point for you 20 years ago when if you wanted to do something, you didn't really overthink the risk to the reward, and you just thought straight about the rewards. And at one point in our lives, we all had that type of thinking. And for me, I talk a lot about success, right? And I've learned that success is different for every person. And I don't want to get into a debate about what success looks like for you or for any of your audience, because it should be different for everyone. So it's all about getting closer towards your success, whether it's financial, whether it's your time, whether it's your family, whether it's, the freedoms that you want. So it's all about being a true risk taker. And I guess to tie this into your audience is if people, if you're out there and you have a burning desire inside of you to do something, and maybe your friends and your family and your closest people might laugh at you for doing it. People told me I would be a horrible author. And I still did it. Now I'm a best-selling author. And I think that's the biggest takeaway is that, it sounds very cliche, but you can truly do anything you want to do.
Now, how can you motivate someone? It's easy to just tell someone what to do or how to do it. Like, tell us something we could do to encourage ourselves, to motivate ourselves, to find that inner child, just to get started. Like, how do we just go ahead and get out there and get started?
Yes, I get asked this question all the time, and people struggle knowing what their passion is. And luckily that your podcast is so pinpointed niche on that I hope that your audience's passion is, the development of games. But if it's not, I ask people all the time, if you can do one thing for the rest of your life, 9 to 5, and not worry about money, what would it be? Truthfully, that's the best question you can ask. If you can do one thing for the rest of your life from the hours of 9 a.m. to 5 o'clock at night, what would you do?
Yeah, and that is a big question, and you have to define that for sure.
Mm-hmm. And it's different for everyone. But to me, that is your passion. And once you focus on your passion, everything else comes, right? When I focus on my passion on trying to help people and speaking and writing my thoughts down, it all works out in the end. Financially, it works out. I can pay my bills. It all works out. And then when you start pursuing your passion, it's not a 9 to 5 job anymore. You're doing that at 7 o'clock in the morning because you want to do it. You're there towards 7 o'clock at night because that's what you want to do. So understanding that drive, that passion, that energy, we all have, and we've had it our whole lives as a child. I think a lot about coffee, right? I'm addicted to coffee, cold brew coffee, iced coffee, everything, coffee. When I was a child, coffee didn't exist. I didn't need coffee to get through the day. That makes sense to you.
Yeah, it was different. Yeah. Like now, it's like we're like kind of addicted, or it feels like we need it, but it shouldn't be that case, I think.
No, it shouldn't be. And I truly believe that if more of us pursue our passions and what we really want to do with our lives, this world will be a much happier, better place. And how it ties in is at one point in everyone's life, they had those tools to pursue everything they ever wanted while they were a child. So understanding that you have all of the necessary tools inside of you to achieve your freedoms and your happiness is the first step. Every one of us has what it takes to be successful. And then the hard part is learning how to use that. But understanding that we all have those tools. We all have the work ethic. We all have the passion. We all have the empathy and the sympathy and everything we need to be successful. But then it becomes the hard part of how do you utilize that?
Interesting. Yeah, you gotta find your passion and you gotta take the step to take action. So one of the mottos that I said is like, knowledge is only potential power. Execution is the game. Meaning that, you could gain all this knowledge, but you have to execute on those, your vision. You have to execute on those actions if you want to make something happen.
Mm-hmm. And with children, what I've learned is it's a massive amount of action. It's an obsessive amount of action. And that word obsessed can sometimes bothersome people. They don't like to hear, oh, I'm obsessed about something. But I truly believe that we should all be obsessed with our passion is. We should be obsessed with changing the world. We should be obsessed with what makes us happy.
Now, what do you want to tell those people that's like they have bills or they got a lot of responsibility, they have a family to feed, a 9-to-5 jobs, take care of the bills, or maybe they're just like they lost their passion. What do you want to tell those people?
Yes, and the older I get, the more I realize that everyone has responsibilities. It's just different levels of responsibilities, and we all have exactly as much as we can handle at that given time. But what really clicked to me is that I was thinking, what happens if I take this risk and quit my job and I fail? And then I thought, what happens if I wake up in 20 years and wish I took that risk and I didn't? How would I feel then? Waking up, at 45 years old and understanding and knowing I should have done more and I didn't. And to me, that idea was, it trumped any other idea in the world, because I was able to make the bills work. My responsibilities, I'm very fortunate enough to have a loving family and a beautiful fiance who supports me no matter what I do and understands. So I guess that's a big thing, is surround yourself with positive people. Because if you're with positive people, they're going to help you when the times are really challenging and difficult.
Yeah, I think people underestimate the effect that the surroundings have on them. Like, simply hanging around a negative person, it will make your day gloomy, and hanging out with a positive person, it will just make your day happy. And simply changing who you hang out with, or, your environment as well, it will make a huge difference. It definitely will make a huge difference.
Yes. One of my favorite quotes is from a gentleman named Jim Rohn. And he stated that we're the product of the 5 people we surround ourselves with the most. And he later went on to say that if you would take, financially, if you would take the average salaries of your 5 best friends, he would most likely assume that, that's how much money you make. And the same thing with the different levels of happiness and just where people are in their lives. I like to think if I'm the smartest person in the room, I need to find a better room. Because I like to be around people who lift me up, who challenge me to be greater than I am.
Yeah, and Game Dust, you could take this into when you're building your team. Find people that are smarter than you, or that is more committed, more positive, more motivated than you, and stick around those person. Like, find mentors, someone that could help you, hold you accountable for your actions. Anyone that can help benefit you and help you grow, you need to stick to that person. Get their number, build a meaningful relationship with them. And also you have to, get yourself away from the negative people as well. And here, that's another tough thing, Nick. How can people or someone, step away from like a bad relationship or a negative relationship? What can they do to step away from that so, they can start anew?
Yes, the biggest thing, and I say this, is you need to respect yourself and your time enough and truly love yourself to not surround yourself with negative people. And that's very, very hard, and that takes a high level of commitment to your goals and to your family to not surround yourself around that. It's very, very easy to get caught up in the drama. It's very, very easy to get caught up in talking bad about people. We're all guilty of it. But when you focus on yourself and who you want to be, you talked about building your team. Man, I love building teams. That's one of the greatest things you said. That's huge. You're going to build a team. My biggest suggestions are you build that team with people who are smarter than you, right? People that can challenge you to become better. That's huge, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. It just makes a huge difference. And, it takes time. Finding the right person takes time. A person that you thought might be good ends up being bad. Just move on to the next person. And it's like, hiring someone for a job position. They're good at the interview, but then they end up being bad. You got to learn how to let go of that person and move on to the next person and see how that goes. So I do think it's try and error, but the point is you just got to find that right person. If you want to work on a team, cause no one succeeds alone. That's the thing. No one really succeeds alone. Like I couldn't have done this podcast without, some of my friends' help and especially my wife's help. And so you just got to find that person to see if they can help you out somehow and stick with them.
What I like what you said real quick is, you stated, I like to think, cause I've run a couple companies, and I used to say we hire slowly and we get to know people and we fire fast. And that might sound kind of negative, but you need to understand, keep your emotions out of it. You need to, if something is not working, if a relationship is not working, if a partnership is not working, if a team member is not working, you need to rip off that Band-Aid as fast as possible, because that is the only way that you're truly going to succeed.
Yeah, and you're wasting time with that person. That's the thing. You do not want to waste your time. And game development can take a long time, and having the wrong person on it, it's just going to delay your vision, your goal, your dream even longer. So yeah, the faster you could fire that person or just let that person go, the sooner you could get back on track.
Mm-hmm. And it's actually kind of selfish too for you to, if it's not working with a member of your team who might be doing the visuals. If it's not working and you feel bad for them, you're not doing them any favors by keeping them around when they can be out in the real world exploring something that they can explore in their passion, something they can excel at.
Exactly. Now, what do you think is holding people back from unlocking their inner child? Like, what do you think is holding people back from actually taking a step? Is it the main thing? Is it fear, or is there like anything specific you can tell us, like what's holding us back from taking those big risks?
I think it's all fear-based and complacency. Those two things, and they go hand in hand. A lot of people are very, very fear-based. They're afraid of the what ifs. The what if I fail? What if I make a game and it's a total bust, and I spent 3 years of my life making a game and I can't get downloads, I can't sell ads, I can't make money off of it, I can't get it to market. What if? And a lot of people are petrified with the what ifs. They let fears run their lives. So it's easier to go into a job and to exchange their time 40 hours a week for a lump sum of money every week, because they would rather do that than face their fears.
Yeah, you gotta face your fears. It's something that should drives you to be stronger. That's the thing. And the thing that we think is that's gonna happen, it actually isn't that bad at all. So it's really a waste of time to think of what ifs and just, go out there and do it. Make that game, find your team, make that game, go network, just walk up to people, introduce yourself, say hi, what do you do? What are you working on? Just go up there and network and talk with people and, get things going. What's a great personal habit to have?
My biggest habits, I'm very old school, and we're not on camera right now, but if we were, I can show you. I write things down. I love technology, but I write down every morning my goals, my true goals, what I want to do, what I need to do. It helps me stay organized. A lot of it, on a social media standpoint, is post on Twitter 5 times today, do 2 Instagram posts. I break down my goals to the minute, to the hour. I even have to write down I have to eat healthy. So that's one of my habits, of writing down my goals, and then at night writing down things that I'm grateful for. The 2 best habits I can do. So at night, it's the best thing you can do because it keeps you focused. And I think I've achieved a little bit of success. I have to write down I have to eat healthy today. That's where I am in my life. I'm 28 years old, and I have to write down, remember to eat a healthy breakfast. Because if I don't write it down, there's a chance I might eat junk food. So that's the level I have to be at, the level of detail I have to be at. And that level of detail has become, my habits. And these habits is what define me. My notebook, I would rather get robbed at gunpoint and have somebody take all my money and not take my notebook.
Yeah, I mentioned that before in another episode where writing your goals down is a really powerful thing to do. And same here with me. I write my goals down every single morning. I write down what I'm grateful for. So, for example, I'm like looking at my journal right now, and one thing I need to write down or do is floss all the time. And I write floss like every single day to make sure I get into that habit. And then I put like what I'm grateful for, which is like my wife or my baby or something like that. You have to write down your goals in order to it be implanted into your mind. Like you want it to be implanted in your mind so you don't forget your goal, you don't forget your vision. Whatever bad happens, you're still on top of your vision. Just writing it down makes it you don't lose track. You just don't lose track. So writing your goals down every day, it lets you know what you have to do for that day. It makes you feel more planned out. It makes it feel like you're gonna accomplish something. You got something to do. There's a purpose for the day.
And the biggest thing is, my people tell me all the time, "Hey, check out this cool app. You can get your goals that remind you every day." And I can't do it. I can't even write on my iPad, and I can't type it on my laptop. I have to. Something magical happens when you pick up a pen and you put it towards a piece of paper and you write down your goals and you see what you're writing. To me. And that's the greatest thing I can do. That's the greatest habit I have.
Yeah, definitely a habit that people should pick up, especially for a game design. Because when gaming comes with a ton of different ideas, and you always want to write each idea down and be very specific about it. And so that's another good way of just why it's important to write ideas down, even on paper. We're nearly reaching the end. Is there like any parting piece of guidance you want to leave us?
The parting piece of the biggest suggestion I can have for anyone specifically in the industry you're in is, if you truly believe in yourself that you're meant to do something, if you want to be a developer, then do it. Don't let your fears dictate your life. Don't let other people's fears dictate your life. That goes to your parents, that goes to your wife, that goes to your husband, your kids. Don't let their fears dictate your life. Be true to yourself and understand that you have everything it takes. And as my book stated, we all had that at one point in our lives, right? We all learned how to walk. We all learned how to talk. If we're alive right now, then we didn't get that screwed up along the way. So what is the worst that can truly happen?
Yeah, like just the chances of being born is incredible. And that's why I'm like grateful every morning to wake up, because it's like, I can't believe I'm alive. Our situation compared to the rest of the world, we have it like easy compared to a lot of other people in the world. And so like I went to my home country in Cambodia and saw, it's like a third world country. So it's way less developed than United States, and just incredible how different the living condition is, and how I'm lucky it is to even be born in America. It's incredible. And I think when you change your perspective on how good you have it, you just want to keep doing what you want, what you love. Like you just want to do something and live out your life passionately and stuff.
Exactly. And understand that this whole world is controlled by our mind. If we want to be happy, that's a choice we make. And it's a beautiful thing once you understand that.
Nick, I really appreciate this. This is like a really inspirational, and it, of course, is a big pivot from us. A game does, but I think it's a great way for us to take a step back, learn from other people, learn from other industries. And this episode is like a really motivational. So key things for me to take away is you got to change the people you hang with, your environment. If your environment is negative, find out smarter people, better people, go network with them and stick with those people, because you'll become better in the end. And, get away from negative people. And then a great habit to have is to constantly write your goals down every single day. What you do, what you're grateful for, the task what you're going to do for the day. Just writing your goals down is just a great habit to have. So, Nick, it's been a pleasure. Tell us how we can connect with you, and then we'll say goodbye.
Yeah, certainly. My best bet is on social media. At NJ Britton is the best way to get a hold of me. It's across all platforms, specifically Twitter. I do have a website, nickbritton.com, and very simple. Reach out to me. My purpose is to help as many people as possible. I know what my goal is because I write it down for 3 years straight. I want to help people. If you have a question, please feel free to reach out to me. Again, nickbritton.com, or NJBritton on Twitter. I return to all the tweets, all messages. I do that all myself. So I love to connect with you, each and every one of you.
You heard him, Game Devs. Hit up Nick. He is willing to help you out, and that is great of him to do. He's willing to inspire us, to put us on the right track if we're like feeling down or negative. So hit him up. Nick, once again, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us, and for that, we are truly grateful, and we will catch you next time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Game Devs, for listening, and remember that knowledge is only potential power. Execution is the game. I am so excited to announce our first sponsored giveaway with Game Dev Underground, where a winner can get a free 1-hour consultation with the founder, Tim Rusbeck. So if you have any questions on building and launching your game, get on this giveaway ASAP. This is a $1,000 value, and it can be yours. All you have to do is go to the show notes page at GameDevLoadout.com and sign up for my email list. That's it. So until then, keep on making great games, and I will catch you on the next episode. Bye.